What's up, y'all? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here today. It is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. Speaking of 20, this is the 20th day in a row that we've been going live together, and big thank you to everybody who's been in multiple streams. If this is your first time here, thank you so much. If you are watching the replay, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also that bell notification icon, because that'll allow you to get notified every time new live streams happen. And when do they happen? They happen every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Why do I do this? I do this because we're in crazy times right now, as you know. And this is number one, holding me accountable to starting the day, waking up early to be able to serve you. Number two, it provides you something regular and normal that you can look forward to every day. And number three, and most importantly, I am here to serve you. I'm here to answer your questions. We blitz through as many as we can during this hour, and actually on the weekends, we go a little bit over the hour. Number two, we like to have a lot of fun. Number three, sometimes we do website reviews. I plan on doing at least 5 website reviews today, so make sure you stick around, because you might be able to type in your URL, and then I might be able to go to your website. I might be able to give you a quick 3-minute rundown, as we often do. The countdown timer starts, and then we make it happen. But most of all, once again, thank you so much for joining me this weekend. And as always, hashtag Team Flynn for the win. So let's go over some shout outs right now and welcome some of y'all in. We got Samuel in the house. Cool shirt. Yep, absolutely. I'm old school. I learned video games on the Nintendo regular, and I'm sort of an old geezer now in that space. Mary, what's up, Mary? Thank you for being here. I saw you chatting earlier, especially asking some good questions and keeping it flowing. Let's see. Karmic Cash Flow in the house as well. Definitely want to make sure I get to a website review for you, my friend. So when we go ahead and do that, probably at the half-hour mark, just remind me what your website URL is. I think I also have it on Twitter or something. But we'll go ahead and make sure that happens, but I owe you one for sure. Joe Nena, what's up, John Nena? Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Pat. Day 20, you're amazing. No, you're amazing for being here. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to do some sound effects when it's necessary. If I see something that's kind of weird, I'm going to be like, bruh. And most of all, just again, thanks again. Ethan in the house, Karmic Cash Flow, Team Samson, Team Flynn for the win, for sure. Hey, Pat, love the live streams. Fishing with DP3. Man, that's one thing I miss doing, fishing, for sure. I used to fish every single weekend with my dad. We started off lake fishing here in San Diego, and then we shifted over to saltwater fishing in the Pacific Ocean, and we even did some 2- and 3-day trips. My record fish is a 45-pound albacore. It was like this big. I caught it on some lighter gear, so it actually took over 2 hours to land. But man, what a thrill. I need to go fishing again for sure. Dave says, uplifting our time. I'm doing my best. Oftentimes we average about 200 to 250 people here at one point in time during the live streams. My goal would be to get it to probably twice that within the next month or two. So if you can help out with that, meaning share it, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure to check in every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. That would be fantastic. I'm doing a little something different today. If you have a podcast, this may be worth paying attention to, or if you do any live streams of any kind. What I mean is talking about energy levels. Yes, it is early here, so sometimes I wake up a little bit more groggy, hence the coffee here. Big shout out to Mostra Coffee in San Diego, my favorite coffee here in the States. My favorite coffee in the world? Australia. My favorite coffee is Australian. But what I mean is I'm actually standing up. I put the stool away because I want to stand up and have some more energy. And I remember I had been given this tip a long time ago when related to recording a podcast. Somebody said, Pat, you should stand up when you record a podcast. And I was like, really, does that actually make a difference? Well, I experimented with that. I actually recorded the next episode standing up, but I didn't tell anybody because I just wanted to see if anybody would even notice a difference. And actually, I ended up getting a few dozen emails from people saying, Pat, I don't know what it was in this episode, but you just sounded more energetic. You just sounded more lively. And I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know if you could hear a difference right now. Probably not, but that's okay. But I at least feel a little bit more energized standing up. And I think there's, because when you sit down, you sort of relax a little bit. And I need to be on my game for you because we're going to answer questions. We're going to do website reviews. We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to have a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you stand up. It's a tip that's sort of underrated in the podcast and video live streaming space. The Avengers are assembling. My favorite coffee is in France. I have not been to France. Let's see. Really nice fish, Pat. Bigger than my record fish. Let's see. Morning, Pat. Good to see you today. Good to see you, too. Appreciate you for being here. Grandma Goody, how long does it take to set up an Amazon Associates account and resource page set up from scratch? There's a thumbs down. I was waiting for you to coming in a little bit early today. Appreciate you for that. Let's turn that thumb around. So to answer your question, by the way, think of some questions, pop them in the chat now. I'm here to serve you. When it comes to creating a resource page with affiliate links on it, that's essentially what we're talking about here. And again, this is for Grandma Goody, so let me pop this up one more time. How long does it take to set up an Amazon Associates account and get a resource page set up from scratch? So it actually doesn't take very long to set up an Amazon Associates account. That's Amazon's affiliate program. And there's all different kinds of affiliate programs. So if you can't sign up for Amazon Associates for whatever reason, and there are sort of minimal requirements, you do have to sort of make a sale within 90 days. And if you aren't able to do that, that's okay. You can always come back later. However, did you know that you can become an affiliate for Target? Did you know that you can become an affiliate for Walmart? Actually, let me show you here. I'm going to go to Target Affiliate Program, and I'm literally just going to show you here on a website. So here we go, Target affiliates. You can earn up to 8% when people buy. Did you know that? You can be an affiliate for Target. So if for whatever reason Amazon doesn't work out, you can try Target or Walmart. Many other places have affiliate programs connected to them as well, which means you are earning a commission every time somebody goes through a link of yours and then makes a purchase. This is the opposite or different than advertising, where advertisers will pay you money and just kind of to have you blast out their website, their brand, their company in front of your audience in all different kinds of ways, podcast, video, website, whatever. However, they're paying you typically up front for results that aren't necessarily guaranteed. And that's why I love affiliate marketing. It's a win for everybody. You don't have to get paid unless you deserve to get paid, and the company doesn't have to pay you unless you make sales for them. So it doesn't take long to, going back to your question, Grandma Goody, it doesn't take long to set up an Amazon Associates account. It may take a little bit longer to set up a resource page, and I'm remembering the website that we reviewed for you. Essentially, you'd want to create a separate page to list all the resources, meaning the helpful items that you've sort of been able to collate and filter for people. And that's really your job as a marketer sometimes, is to not just sell things, but to also help reduce the noise out there. You can be the person who sort of filters all the noise out there and puts all that beautiful stuff all on one page. And so you could check out the resource page on smartpassiveincome.com. There's also a great resource page on the College Info Geek, which is Thomas Frank's website to help people study. And these are just high converting pages. And really, I would just get one up as soon as possible. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to be sort of clickable in terms of categories that lead to different parts of the page. Just have and start with maybe your top 3, your top 5 products on there. And that way it's just there as a static page. It becomes a very non-aggressive way to promote things because you're promoting something that's actually helpful. You've reduced all the friction to find the best items for your people in your space. So the resource page, again, is a key part of your website. And so I would imagine that you could have it up in probably a few hours if you really just kind of created space for that, which is often the thing that we actually need. We don't necessarily need a ton of time. We just need the time to implement and do something. A secondary page that might be worth looking at, and this is stuff I teach in my affiliate marketing course, would be the Start Here page. So blogs, imagine, are just a mess in terms of, okay, if somebody's brand new to the website, where do I start, right? You're on episode 400 of your podcast. You are on, blog post number 3000. Like, where do people begin? This is why a Start Here page is really key, because a person can click on that. They can get access to just the things that they need to see right now. Yes, everything on your website hopefully should be worth some sort of value to them. However, where do you want them to start? This is your beginning to start to guide them in the journey that they can have through your website. And then eventually they're going to dive in and subscribe to your email list and all that great stuff. And yes, you can have affiliate offers on that Start Here page too. Whatever step 1 is in their journey, have that product be there, because of all the resources that you have found, well, what's the number 1 and first that they should get into? There you go. Thank you for that question. I appreciate you. Fisherman's Landing, H&M, Seaforth Landing, or other. Definitely Seaforth. I would be very active on the 3/4 day trips. I'm trying to remember the names of the boats. The Legend, the San Diego was the boat that I was often most on. Those were a lot of fun. Pat, I love all you do. A great inspiration to me and why I started Personal Innovation Hub. Would like you to review my business model. Well, share it. I may or may not be able to get to it. We have a lot of people in right now, which is really great. And again, thank you so much for being here, y'all, and for spending some time with me today. But we're going to get into some site reviews at the half-hour mark, so that's about 20 minutes. We're going to have a lot of fun. Also, just remember this link, patflynn.com/theincomestream. That'll help you get here every single day, and it's also going to connect you to the waiting room should you come in early. You can even chat with people beforehand and have some fun with Team Flynn here, which y'all are great about. Let's see, love writing about products I use and then dropping an affiliate link to get it. Yeah, why not, right? I mean, especially, Michael, this is great insight. Just starting with products that you use. That way it's very genuinely spoken about. It's very genuinely recommended. You can talk about your personal experience with it, the proof behind it, right? And social proof and your own personal experience goes a very long way in helping to sell and recommend. Because affiliate marketing, the hard part about affiliate marketing is that you are promoting somebody else's product. So there needs to be a little bit more trust earned before a person's going to click on that link and make a purchase, because you're sending them away from you. Yes, they might trust you, but do they trust that product yet? And this is why if you have a podcast, here's a big secret. You can use your podcast to interview the founder of that company. Yeah. So this is a way for you to earn trust. And so I did an episode with Nathan Barry, the founder of ConvertKit, which is an email service provider. Any ConvertKit users in the house, it's my number one all-time favorite email service provider. They make it easy to work with and send emails and collect emails. Anyway, I interviewed the founder, Nathan Barry, on the Smart Passive Income podcast. And I didn't ask him questions like, tell us why ConvertKit's the best. Tell us, your best email marketing strategies and why ConvertKit's the only one that can use them. No, it was actually positioned as a story. Stories sell. And so I asked Nathan questions like, well, tell me the beginnings of ConvertKit. How did it get started? What were some of the struggles? What were the big challenges? Did you always think that it would get here? And the answers were beautiful because they were genuine and they helped the audience earn trust with Nathan. And that episode alone has accounted for over $50,000 in recurring revenue. That's the beauty about email service providers' affiliates programs. They are recurring typically month over month. So long as a person who's clicked on your link and has become a customer stays on, you will continue to earn that 30% typically is the commission rate for email service providers month over month, which is really cool. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jonathan. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Xenia and Vlada in the house, as always. I think you've been on a 20-day streak with me, right? Just Samson, also an number of people. Wendy in the house, working on my ConvertKit right now. That's awesome, Wendy. Yep, ConvertKit representative, says Heather. Awesome. Where are the questions at? Let's see some more questions. I've been watching this live stream every day for the past week. The live stream never gets old. Thank you, Fishing with DP3. What does DP3 mean? So it almost sounds like CP3, C3PO, D3PO. Cool. Pat, which do you like best for remote interviewing, Zoom or Skype? I actually prefer Skype just because I find that the connection's a little bit more reliable and the quality of the recordings are more reliable too. I would, however, also recommend something further and beyond that, something that's actually a much more better quality and a better experience on both ends, and that's Squadcast. So if you go to patflynn.com/squadcast, like squad, like what's up, let's team up, and cast like fishing, I don't know, Squadcast. This is a tool that's very similar to Zencaster, if you've heard of that. It records the interview locally on both ends, and then you get to download those, and it becomes the highest quality. What I love, however, about Squadcast is they just have a little bit more technology that allows for less drift, and they also include video. It's not just audio, and I'm also an advisor to the company as well. Full disclosure. Cool. Appreciate you always casually shouting out hashtag the guys and gals, right? Like Mary and a few others who always show up. Grandma Goodies is a regular as well. DP3, very cool. Thank you for that. Martin, new marketing tip for podcasts. Mine leveled off at 4K day over the past month. Okay, so new marketing for podcasts. Number one, Martin, I would challenge you to ask you, how many podcasts have you been on as a guest thus far? And are you making it a regular sort of motive for you to do that? Being a guest on another person's show is definitely the best way to grow your podcast right now, because when you think about it, a lot of people, when they think of promoting their podcast, they think of social media, right? Let's repurpose our show, or even let's take these things and turn them into videos that we can publish on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. But typically the people who see those are, guess who? People who have already found you already, who already know you exist. How might you get in front of newer audiences? Well, getting on other people's shows is really key, because people who are listening to somebody they trust endorse you on a podcast app that they're already on, it just makes it really easy for them to start to go to your show. So I would try to make it a part of your goal to perhaps be a guest on another person's show at least twice a month if possible. So yes, relationships are a big component of this. Many of you have also heard me share this strategy before, which is to interview forum or group owners. So imagine you interview a group owner and you use your platform as an asset to help them look like a hero. Well, if you interview them or you just even collect a quick tip from them and they hear themselves on that show, what's the likelihood that, well, first of all, they're going to be more likely to say yes because these forum and group owners, they, number one, don't often get asked to do this. And number two, they want to look like sort of a hero and sort of the face of their community. But number two, the likelihood that they're going to share it is going to be pretty much guaranteed. And it's guaranteed because you've painted them the hero. You've given them the space, almost like if you're on the radio, right? You're going to share that with your friends. Guys, I was on the radio today. A podcast feels very similar in terms of the sort of seriousness as a platform, even more so than a blog for sure. And so if you allow a person to come on your show who has a community, very likely that they're going to share it with that community too. And now you are getting endorsed by somebody, the founder of that group, versus you going into a group and sort of spamming the group. And even if you do have provided, even if you do provide value within that group, even if you have the best show in the world, you can't go into just random groups and start posting your stuff because you're going to get kicked out. You're going to get shunned. You're going to have somebody turn their back on you, and they're not going to want to listen to you. That was a really weird thing I just did. But anyway, that's what I would recommend, Martin. So how might you get in front of these other communities that exist? How might you also cultivate relationships and making that a very strategic and very honest plan that you make sure gets executed on? So I would definitely bake that in. Number two, I would say that you could potentially create an event-like launch for an upcoming episode. So what this does is it sort of interrupts the pattern. And I like to do this every once in a while too, because it really just kind of stuns people for a while and makes them go, whoa, this is why I subscribe. Yes, let's share this. Or, oh my gosh, where did this come from? Or cool, there's a contest going on around this. So there's many different ways to what I like to call a hit episode, a highly intentional and targeted episode. This might be an episode like with a very, very special guest who you can tease weeks ahead of time. You can play games around that, like, hey, I'm going to reveal a new fun fact about this person every week leading up to the interview because this is the best sort of guest that I've ever had on the show before. Or you might be able to do something like maybe it's one of these forum group owner interviews, or perhaps it's taking an older topic that you know people really enjoyed and bringing it back to life again, maybe with some other people in a more roundtable fashion. And then you make a big deal out of it. You make it a big event-like launch to it. You maybe run a contest around it, do some giveaways, make a huge deal of it, just like you did or you were supposed to when you launched your show. It could be a milestone episode like episode 100, for example, that you can make a big deal out of and make a fun little contest and just create a lot of noise about it, right? And yes, we want every single episode to create a lot of noise for us and do a job for us, but you got to interrupt that pattern. It's right. It's interesting, right? Because you want to be consistent and show up every week, but then if you do that, people just get used to the way things are. And it's like if you go to bed every night with your spouse and you say, I love you, honey, good night. I love you, honey, good night. I love you, honey, good night. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Right? Just every single night. It just becomes usual. It becomes regular. It's not less special. It's just not as exciting anymore versus that random I love you on a Tuesday at 3:48 p.m. You go into her office and you go, hey, here's a rose just because I love you. And that's it. For no reason. It's not an anniversary or anything. That's what's getting talked about. That's what's getting people shared. That's what gets the other people in the office jealous, all that kind of stuff. So, hey, I'm on fire right now. And yes, don't forget to hit that like button. And in fact, we usually have a like goal. So let me on the fly here see if I can do this. We are going to go for a like goal of, where did it go? So we're going to go for a like goal of 200 today. We can do 200. I'm going to reduce it by 10%. And this is the last time we're going to do the prize for shelf reveal. We're going to start a new prize tomorrow. So we're going to go for 200 likes here today. We're already at 68. If we can get to 200, I'm going to share some fun stories about some of the stuff that's here behind me. We got to 200 a few days ago, and then I moved up the like goal, and we barely missed it the next day, and then we weren't even close yesterday. So I'll keep this up here every once in a while, 200 likes. Let's see if we can get there. We're almost halfway there, which is really great. So I'm going to answer a few more questions here, and then we are going to go to some site reviews. So get ready for that. Get your URL ready. Think of some creative way it'll get through to me here in the chat, because YouTube will not give it to you, give you the opportunity to just share your URL straight up. So think of how you might be able to give it to me, and that way I will make sure I can see them all. And then also, I'm going to pick 5 people to do a site review for today. We're going to do 3 minutes each, and then we'll get back to questions and have some fun to finish this off. So that's the plan. Liz says, cannot see Pat's shirt. Thanks for being here, Liz. You've been in here quite often too. It is a Nintendo controller with old man arms on a little sort of cane looking thing with tennis balls on the end. Are there tennis balls? No, there's no tennis balls on the end. Okay, anyway. It's like regular NES Nintendo old. That's me. Fantastic. Oh my God, thumbs down brought a friend. Good stuff. Let's see. I saw somebody ask a question about starting a YouTube channel. Let's see. Where did that go? I think it was just like, hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel. What do I do? What's the how might I best get into that? So if you're going to start a YouTube channel, awesome. I think it's really important to just, number one, understand that it's not going to show you immediate results right away. Although that's not 100% it can happen. I have a good friend who started a channel called Solve the Money Problem. And he started with a video right when the Tesla Cybertruck was revealed. And it was Tesla Cybertruck will make billions. That was the name of the title of that video. And it was his first video. And it just went crazy. It almost shot up to 1 million views within a couple weeks. And then later on it got taken down. But he did something really smart. Once he saw a video pop, and he got really lucky that it was very early on in his YouTube career. Number one, he newsjacked as well. That means sort of taking something that's really hot in the news right now and creating something that makes you want to click on it, right? Like everybody was talking bad about the Cybertruck, and then all of a sudden Steven comes on to share a video saying how it's going to make billions. Well, how? Like, this thing is ugly. Let me see it. And it definitely was a very good and well-structured video too, that had some really good points that really I hadn't heard before. So there was a lot of value in that. And I'm just saying that your first video, like my first 100, are probably not going to be quite as successful as that one. But he did something really smart. When he saw a video do well, he created more videos just about that topic. And I doubt that he came into it thinking it was going to be mostly about Tesla, but the signs were there from his audience that he built, as well as YouTube and what they were doing in the algorithm to support his videos. Most of his videos are about Tesla and Tesla investing and that sort of stuff. And we see it in his channel. Every video that's not about that, like he'll talk about his investments or just passive income every once in a while or other things that are random, they don't get seen nearly as much. He's attracted an audience specifically for that video. So one thing that I didn't do, and I still need to work on, is when I see a video pop, meaning it just seems to just take off, you need to follow up and continue to nurture that particular audience. Now, I did have a video pop that I didn't want to be known for. For example, my number one video with 1.3 million views is about how to create an awesome slide deck. This is how to create slides on PowerPoint. It actually is my number one video and still is to this day one of the most popular that's viewed every single month. I don't want to be known for that. So I do have things like ads in there that are helping me. However, I could follow up and become known as sort of the PowerPoint presentation guy, but I don't want to be that. I want to be more of somebody who's known for these live streams, as well as videos about helping people build businesses and entrepreneurship at home. So that's kind of why I didn't follow YouTube's lead there. And I thought it was just really interesting. Hey, Archer in the house. What's up? Hey, Archer. Thank you for being here. Hope your streams are going well too. Thank you so much, my friend. Stream Deck and Rode work great. Well done. Hey, Archer is starting some live streams too, inspired by this show here and all the community members here as well. So go ahead and check them out if you can. Thank you so much for the super chats. By the way, super chats, if you didn't know, are paid comments. This is like a way for you to get a colored, almost like sticker or sticky comment that is seen, and how long it's seen is depending on how much you sort of contribute. Number one, I appreciate all the contributions. Not necessary. Obviously, it's free to be here. You don't have to pay a dime. But should you want to contribute and help support the cause, all the money generated in these super chats are going to go to the San Diego Food Bank at the end of the month. And last month we donated 1,000 meals, a little over 1,000 meals, which was really incredible to people in need here in San Diego, especially during this crisis. And all income coming from the super streams here, the super chats, are going to be donated very, very similarly on April 30th. And then we kind of share that win together. So that's really cool. Okay, we got 5 minutes till the website reviews, so let's keep it going. The Mature Man. Hey, Pat. Do you see a conflict or a problem with using other folks' YouTube videos as part of a larger blog post? Use the video to enhance the posting. No, I don't see a problem at all. Obviously, if a person has a problem with that, they can actually do a couple things. Number one, reach out to you and ask politely. But number two, if they enable that video to be embedded, well, that's kind of what they want. And most, I would say 98% of videos on YouTube are the ones that are public, you know, embeddable. And I think that that's kind of what people want. So I don't think it would hurt at all. I think it would actually enhance that experience, not just for your audience member on your website, but also it would help them get more traffic, right? It would help them get more views. And what I would recommend is after you actually post it, I would go out and actually reach out to that video creator and say, hey, I loved your video so much. I popped it into my blog post, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for that because it really enhanced my content. By the way, here's who I am. If there's anything I can do to support you, let me know. That, I think, would be a great way to start to build a relationship by you embedding a video. If it is embeddable, then do it for sure. That's no problem whatsoever. Whoa, Rafal with a double super chat, 2 super chats. You're crazy, man. Thank you so much for that. So $5 from Rafal. Thank you so much for the support. You're amazing. All right, thanks for doing awesome things, Pat Flynn. You keep many motivated. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to make it happen. Trying to continue to make it happen. I started using live cam. It's awesome. So eCam perhaps is what you were saying, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for the recommendation. So happy I made the switch. Now we are live streaming from the radio station across all platforms. Nice, Jacqueline. That's amazing. So you're probably using something like Restream or Switchboard Live to using eCam Live, which you can connect to those accounts, stream to multiple places. Now, I don't stream to multiple places. I only stream here on YouTube because I want to cultivate this audience and dedicate 100% of my time during this time to you. If I were to go live elsewhere, I would probably do it at a different time, but that's just me. I think a lot of people can benefit by going multi-cam, multi-stream, but I just want to focus here on YouTube because that's my number one MO in the video space, is to grow this channel, to grow this income stream subscription to, or the live show to hundreds of viewers at a time. And we're at 150 right now, which is really great. I think we do see dips on the weekends, and then we bring it back up on the weekdays. People don't want to get up this early, or they just want to spend time with family, which I completely understand. My family's asleep right now, so we're all good. Bruh. Whoa, Amanda, you're amazing. Thank you so much for the super chat. You're incredible. Again, not required, but very much welcomed, and will be donated to people at the end of the month at the San Diego Food Bank. Thank you so much for that. Samuel says, hey, Pat, when should I create a website for my podcast? I think a website for a podcast is a smart thing to do. Preferably, it should be available on the first day that your podcast goes live. Not required, though. Did you know that you actually do not need a website to have a podcast up and running? You just need a podcast host. My top recommended one is Buzzsprout. I also recommend Libsyn. They're great as well. But you don't need a website to have a podcast. But you should definitely have one. And it doesn't have to be anything but a place to house your individual podcast episodes with some show notes in there, and also a way for you to begin collecting emails. And if you can have that ready on day one, awesome. If not, then get it done as soon as you can. And it doesn't have to be anything super fancy, just a place to start to build a relationship with people outside of your podcast. Because remember, people are listening on the go, and oftentimes they listen and then they go. However, if you do have a place to bring them to afterwards, or you've collected their email, then you can have a continued conversation with them. You can have a resource page on your website with affiliate links. You could have a start here page so people can get access to what episodes they should be listening to first. And oftentimes it's not the last one that you came out with, right? So I think that's why a website can be really key for the growth of your podcast, for supporting the community, for building your email list, for building your business. So I would say as soon as you can. Martin, welcome. Thank you so much for that. Because you give your valuable time to help us little budding podcasters. Thanks. Hey, I appreciate you so much, Martin. Not required. I'm glad we were able to review your website the other day. You and your Steve Jobs look there. I love it. So keep up the good work. All right, awesome. We'll go to one more question, then we're going to get to some site reviews. Awesome. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Okay, remember, we have a goal today of 200. We have a little bit less people in today, so I reduced the like goal to 200. We're at 105 already. So we're over halfway there. And if we get to that, I'll tell you some quick fun stories about some of the stuff on the shelf behind me. And then tomorrow we're resetting the goal. We're not gonna have the ability to talk about some of these things anymore. We're gonna do some new goals tomorrow. So again, hit that like button and let's get into some site reviews now. So if you can pop in your site, your website, and say, like, type out the word dot, put it in parentheses, like do whatever you can to make sure actually it gets seen, because YouTube will actually hide the websites normally, and then I don't get to see them and I don't get to review them. So that's sort of skill number one, part one. Can you get through to me here in the chat? I do want to make sure, Karmic Cash Flow, that you let me know what your website is too. That way I can review that and we can perhaps start with that. Project Kickstart, $5 chat. Any PC alternatives to Ecamm Live? Thank you so much for this. I would recommend OBS streaming software. Look that up. It's also free. It's open platform. It's the most popular streaming platform. It's not quite as beautiful in terms of user interface as on PC, with Ecamm, but Ecamm and Mac things are just normally designed better for usability anyway. But check out OBS. That can work well. Plus, check out vMix Live. I think that's owned by Vimeo. It was formerly livestreaming.com, I think. vMix and also OBS. vMix is definitely a paid thing for sure. Michael Mann, $5. So glad I grabbed the Samsung Q2U years ago. Thanks to your recommendation. My pleasure. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's amazing. Cool. So I see a few, okay, karmicashflow.com. I should have known. So let's start there. Let's start with karmicashflow.com. We're gonna go for 3 minutes each here. And then we'll get into some more website reviews. So we're gonna do 5 in total. So let me keep track just so I know where we're at. Hold on. Okay. All right, let's do these site reviews. We're gonna go to Karmic Cash Flow. So far, first impression, I'm really digging it. I'm really digging it. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna go 3 minutes. Now, first thing I always look for is, how will I know this site is for me? Building your dream life by focusing on cash flow. Boom, right there. I absolutely love that. I love this picture. I love how it's sort of you're facing the call to action area. We teach you how to build cash flow, passive income through building online businesses. Wherever you are on your personal business or entrepreneurial journey, it only gets better with cash flow, and we're gonna help you get it. Download our free guide to learn my 5 secrets to building endless passive income. Just put your email below. Perfect. I know what this is all about. I know exactly what you want me to do first. I have this very nice picture of you. I know there's a real person there on the other end. I love it. And so that's great. I would say that if you could focus on one more thing, it may be some sort of image of 5 secrets, or perhaps selling it with bullet points a little bit more, which I'm sure you probably do later on somewhere in your blog posts and stuff. But I love that. So I wouldn't actually change anything right now. Get it now. Perfect. Perfect call to action. Love Karmic Cash Flow here. Join the community. I'm curious what happens when I click there. Okay, so it's a Facebook group, which is really great. If I click to join the group, I'm wondering if, so number one, I do notice that there was only 2 new members in the last 30 days. And that definitely makes me a little bit weary about joining the community, because I don't know if there's activity here. So I would wonder if there might be a way for you to sort of do a blast, so that when people go there, they see that there's some social proof. That's sort of number one. I don't see a lot of people there, so I'm not very inclined to join. So it's almost like a chicken and egg certain thing. So you might be able to do better by starting individual reach outs for people to join your community, or maybe run a contest to bring a whole load of people in at the time. And then of course, make sure you are asking questions about people's struggles, people's challenges when they come in, which you can do as a Facebook group owner. That way you can start to collect even more information about what you could serve your audience with. New, start here, fantastic. I would say a start here link up top would be great too, because I want to see the start here stuff for people who are like, okay, I'm here, I'm confused, where do I begin? They might not know to scroll down, or they might be afraid and not scroll down and then leave. If you have start here, you definitely have room for it. One thing I also like to do is just make sure for websites that seem to have it going on the way they should already, I like to bring this down a little bit to see what it might look like with, now you can see it on mobile. And it looks like it's mobile responsive too, which is fantastic. You could probably remove your picture there on mobile, or move it somewhere on the side here versus it having sort of a little bit of bleed over that button there, but I think that's not terrible. Again, I'm being a little bit nitpicky here. Learn the master skills of building cash flow. New start here. Okay, let's see what your start here page looks like. Coming soon. Okay, so we need to work on that for sure. What of all the content that you've produced on your podcast, on your blog, on your YouTube channel, should I be looking at first? Maybe even picking one of each of those platforms, because I think I know that you're on all of those. I also know that you're doing a big video run too. So I don't know where your videos are located, and that would be something, especially if you're gonna be diving deep into that. I know that there's a little video icon here. So if we click on this, likely we go to your YouTube channel, which is great. You asked me to subscribe right away, which is, there's pros and cons to that, right? Asking people to subscribe before they get there, which I think is worth testing for sure. But I would say somewhere where you can highlight the videos and the things that you're doing. Listen to the podcast, recommended tools. Maybe it's just another box like this. One more thing, let's listen to the podcast. See, join the Facebook group. This is a big sort of requirement for you, is to make sure that Facebook group is very attractive when they get there. Perhaps there's an interim page, for example, that they could read about what's in the Facebook group, different kinds of conversations that are happening, and instructions on how to join versus just going directly to the Facebook group, seeing, number one, what Facebook tells me, hey, there's not a lot of activity going on right now. Well, then that's gonna detract me from actually pushing forward. But yeah, cool. Listen on Apple, listen on all the things, great. We're doing really good. I love that. So well done, Karma on Fire. If the Facebook group is really important to you, which it is obvious that it is, let's make sure we make it very attractive for people when we get there. So one sort of contrast would be to check out smartpassiveincome.com/community and what that experience is like. If you're not already joining that community, see what that onboarding experience is like, see what attracts you to wanting to continue to come in, and also see what happens when you get there too. So if I were to go to, for example, smartpassiveincome.com/community, you'll see a Facebook group that we have that also has some really cool instructions up at the top. So as you can see here, it says, new here, create a new thread introducing yourself and where you're at in business. Now, I'm obviously the admin of this group, so there's no sort of onboarding experience that you could see right now. And then, of course, here, this is a pinned comment at the top. Welcome to the community. Click here to learn more. So check this out. Brendan set this together. He's our community manager here on Facebook. And it's just a cool way to sort of welcome the community here on Facebook groups where you have a little bit less control over design. So Karmic Cash Flow, maybe this is something that you can sort of just steal from us and use for yourself, a way for you to create like group rules and welcome to the community, all this really cool stuff. And then, of course, we have a ton of activity happening here, which is really cool. So yeah, check that out, smartpassiveincome.com/community, and you'll see that there. Well done. Cool, let's go to some more. Now I'm gonna go to, let's see, pennymodern.com, I think I saw. Let's try it. Is that Carrie? But yeah, really loved what I saw there. Definitely one of the better ones that I've seen so far. All right, just making sure. Okay, pennymodern.com, this is Carrie. All right, let's go for 3 minutes. Here we go. 3, 2, and I'm moving everything down. 1. Penny Modern, affordable modern decor for everyday people. Short, sweet, love it. Affordable modern decor. See the latest. Great. Now, yeah, this is, I love the furniture. I love what I'm seeing here. I really kind of already know what this is about, which is fantastic. I would also say one thing that you can add is how you're a little bit different than the other people who are doing the same things. Affordable, modern decor for everyday people. I mean, that could be good enough, but I just want to make sure that we differentiate ourselves among the others who are doing this kind of thing too. Wow, this is beautifully laid out. I want to go into a blog post and see what that might look like. So featured article, I love how you have a featured article. This is something that a lot of us bloggers, we don't do, right? Which is what you should do if you have a restaurant and you have a menu. What's the most popular item? Click there, that's gonna draw people's eyes. So maybe this is the #1 sort of article that you have, which is good to surface those things because people who are brand new to the website can go and check this out and they're gonna see there's a lot of activity there. There's a very high value post that's already available. Very similar on YouTube. When you're on YouTube and you design your channel, you can have a page for returning visitors, and a page for new visitors. You want to have your best videos there, or even a trailer to help welcome people in and how you are different than others. So number one, I'm noticing a sidebar here that's quite bare. I see recent posts and then affordable and decor search. So there's a search bar here, which is totally fine. I know you make money off of that, which is okay. But the modern community, join the Penny Modern community. This is a little weak here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm subscribing to. What am I going to get on the other end? There's also a button here, which I don't even know what this button does. It doesn't say anything. Actually, if I hover over it, it says something. Check this box if you want to proceed. Okay, so we need a little bit more selling on why I need to join the community. Is this even a big thing for you? If not, then maybe it should just be removed, because it's almost like, I don't know, but if you want people to join your email list, then we need to sell into your email list. Maybe it's top 5 tips for finding the best furniture for a particular room in your home. Or maybe it's 3 things to look out for before you buy your next piece of furniture. How to know if your furniture purchase online is actually worth doing. How to do, how to make sure the furniture you're purchasing online is actually what you are seeing, right? Because I think purchasing furniture online is there's a little bit more friction. There's a little bit more worry there. I would also consider what are the biggest obstacles that you have, and maybe just address those in a lead magnet that you can put on here that you can get people to subscribe to. But let's see, 9 modern small home office ideas. I love that. The list posts are great. People love to see other people's workspaces. You have the disclosure for the affiliate links. I think that's really smart. First, find a good spot for your small home office. Okay, you have really good value, really good instructions here. So I love what I'm seeing here. Number one, I think that we can perhaps, now that we know this is a really good post that you want to promote, I mean, see what happens here when I scroll down, this sidebar like goes away, and now all this real estate here on the right-hand side, if you had a way to have that sidebar sort of get sticky so it follows you down as you get to the end here, that would be ideal, because then it just wouldn't look so bare here. Or you don't do the sidebar. Is the sidebar actually working for you? If not, then let's remove it altogether and just do what we need to. I would also say that your images here, although they look beautiful, they almost seem like just additions to the blog post versus being injected or, sort of neatly laid out in there. I would say that if you could focus and if you could make them some way landscape, they would fit into the blog post a little bit more. You can keep this sort of vertical, but maybe it extends out with some text that shows like 3 or 4 bullet points in a nice colored box surrounding it, showing people why this matters and what it is. Maybe just even, outlining what it is you talk about in the next portion. Just they don't seem to fit really well, and it extends all the good content down below. I like the combos here, which is great. I'm wondering if I click on this, does it open a new page? Okay. I want you to have the links open to a new page. This is best practice, and this is for all y'all. If you link to somewhere that takes people away from your website, open it in a new tab. So imagine I'm here and I want this desk. I click on this desk here, and then now I have to click back to get to your website. But what if I finish this purchase and then I forget where I was? Well, then you've lost me, versus you can have me go in a little bit further. So have it open in a new page. And finally, I would have all of this perhaps in a PDF file that I could download that just has all this in one spot and sort of outlines the sort of ideas and your methods and methodology, and perhaps have me sign up to join an email list to get that. Great work, though. Thank you, Carrie, and hopefully that is helpful. I wanted to focus on this blog post for you because I think that that's going to be a big reason why people will stick around, why you're going to make money. There's obviously affiliate links in there too. Now Zenio wants new furniture. Karmic Cash Flow. Dude, thank you so much for the review. The website and group are brand new. I will take your advice and do it. Much appreciated. Cool. Well, wow. Well, wonderful job on a new website. Facebook group, I can totally understand. We need to be careful about showing people to get into something before there's people there. And that's just the biggest thing. So well done, Carrie. Cool. Let's go to, and again, these are random, so I apologize for not being able to get to everybody, but let's go to Kevin, wildsafety.com. Kevin, I probably made your heart skip a beat there, but that's okay. That's what this is about. And well done for all of you for putting yourself up there and for putting yourself on the chopping block, if you will. We got Karmic Cash Flow, Carrie, and then Kevin, all the K names and C names, the K sounding names. Okay, let's check this out. Hopefully I'm in the right spot. Okay, by the way, we're at 124 likes. We want to try to get to 200. So if you're here and you're enjoying these website reviews, hit that thumbs up. That motivates me. That'll get us to our goal so I can share some fun stuff for you as a reward at the end, and we'll make it happen. And again, thank you for being here. So let's keep going. Wildsafety.com. This is Kevin. And there seems to be a very specific thing to do on this website, I would imagine, or it's just an informational website, if you will. So here we go. 3 minutes. Wilderness Safety Institute, training for the real world. Specializes in providing professional training in wilderness medicine to include wilderness life support. Okay, awesome. I think we can have a little bit bigger and bolder the key items that you can provide to the person who's here on this page. So wilderness training, so that what? I would imagine that it could, like, you need to sell this, a headline. We need some headline and tagline. So it could be, Wilderness Safety Institute. We help regular people find the skills to survive in the wild for both recreational and emergency purposes, or something like that. I don't know. Just something that's very clear, that's not within like a paragraph. I feel like reading this page, I'm almost like, a teacher grading an essay, right? I don't want to read an essay. I want to see, because my eyes are lazy, not just mine. All of our eyes are lazy. This is why sales pages have very clear, bold headlines. It's like, boom, you need to make that connection with the person the moment they land on your website. So really clear at the top, big headline, tagline. What is the main number one thing you can do? If you're having trouble with that, Kevin, I would challenge you to take what we see here and turn it into one paragraph, and take that one paragraph and turn it into one sentence. How can you keep the same feel and purpose with that one sentence? That's your tagline. So let's start there. Number two, I'm also noticing some 2019 stuff. We're in 2020 now, so let's update these dates. This immediately screams out of date if you are showing older dates, right? Especially down here, upcoming courses. So I would definitely make sure that that's updated for sure. Let's see. These testimonials are fantastic. I think that we don't need to have them be in a slider, because it's really difficult to ask people to pause, especially for how long these are here. You'd much more benefit by having them sort of displayed out in an array of testimonials so that people can see them all at once. In all honesty, most people don't even read the testimonials. They just want to know that they're there, right? So having one at a time that then takes forever to scroll by is not going to do you any service. Having them all in an array, maybe all 5 of these or 4 of these sort of just all in a row, that'll show a lot more social proof, because we have to prove to people why this matters, that you actually are real, that you actually do something for people. And I think those are going to be really key there and really important. I like this sort of SDVOSB. I don't even know what that is, but it shares a little bit of authority in your direction. I think veteran-owned business, I love that as well. Those could perhaps be somewhat a little bit higher. Let's go to the blog too. I would love to see some blog posts sort of shared on the homepage too, so I can, it's very hard to ask people to go click on blog to read the rest without you even getting into instruction to do that, versus perhaps even just featuring your latest blog post on your homepage to have people go, hey, you want some information that we talk about? We're real time. This is the latest thing that just came out recently. You can click here, almost like a news article or magazine. Product review, cool. I love that you're doing product reviews. That's great. Are all water filters created equal? A giant picture of a waterfall. I'm not quite sure what the connection is there. Testing your home. So this speaks to me. This I don't want to happen to my home, a fire, right? And I see that this was published in 2016, so perhaps maybe we need to get a little bit more consistent, even once a month, coming out with an article, because I see 2019 and then 2016. It looks like you used to be a little bit more consistent. Consistency is key, right? But I would say also testing your home preparedness plan. This speaks to me, because I don't want this to happen. This image, this is my nightmare, right? So I think that more articles like that, not that you're playing the scare factor, but we just need to be prepared. I think also asking questions like, do you have a family plan if things go wrong in the house? Or do you have a escape plan if there's a fire in your house? Things like that make me want to click and make sure that I'm actually doing what I need to do. So hopefully some tips for you there. But again, the big one is just on the homepage there, make sure that people know why they're there. And then number 2, the sort of updated dates, to make sure people don't just arrive and immediately say, oh, this is old, I'm out. That's doing your audience a disservice, and you a disservice with the wonderful work that you're doing there. Great. Carrie, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you for the super chat. I'd pop up a few testimonials and then link to see more testimonials. There you go. You have so much value to offer, Kevin. For sure, absolutely. So don't slow down. Tim Sweet, man, you serve, inspiring. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you. By the way, all these super chats, these dollars get donated to the San Diego Food Bank at the end of the month. So thank you all so much for that. Make sure if you're brand new to these streams, we go live every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and all the money that gets donated, like I said, in these super chats get donated to the San Diego Food Bank. But we go live every day. I'm here to answer your questions. We're going to do some more website reviews. We got 2 more to go today before we finish up. And don't worry, we're still going to answer some questions on the other end of this, but hopefully you're getting value out of this. If you are, make sure you hit that like button because we're trying to get to 200 today. We're about 57 away. So if you're brand new in here, hit that like button so we can get to 200 and we could get that reward at the end here before we close up. But we have 10 minutes till the top of the hour. We're going to go a little bit longer today, so you do have a chance to get there. And also I'm going to do more questions and answers at the end too. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. You're incredible. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's get to it. We got a few more. Let's see. HopeForBPD.com. 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 So this is Amanda. What's up, Amanda? I'm going to go down here. And we're going to go into a site review. Here we go. I like how minimal and clean it is. It's just kind of refreshing to see sometimes. But let's start. Let's actually start that again. So Amanda Smith, love the logo. Very professional looking treatment and consultation. Borderline personality disorder, self-injury, and emotional dysregulation. This is a very important website, obviously. You're serving people who are absolutely in need, and I love that. I would say that things could potentially be pulled up the page a little bit more. You do have a lot of space here that I don't even see any sort of text that can just draw me in further into the website right now. And I think that moving things up, I want to look more. So here we go. Consultation, family support, and evidence-based treatment for borderline personality disorder and self-harming. So I have a pretty big display here, as you can see. That's the text that I wanted to see before having scrolling down. So this is why I think we could pull things up, keep the logo there, but I think, this stuff here could perhaps, I could even imagine the navigation menu being brought up to the top here, moving the image up a little bit, and this borderline personality disorder, dysregulation could be pulled up. But that's not a terrible thing. I love this image too. It provides inspiration, it provides hope. I love that. One of the most important investments you may ever make is getting highly effective treatment for borderline personality disorder or self-harming behaviors. Do you have all the resources and information you need to make this decision? Okay, so my big question here is, who is this for? Is this for people who have these disorders, or is this for the people who are hoping to help those who have the disorder? That's just the first thing that came to mind. There may be a way for you to start to have a person sort of choose their own adventure based on where they're at. Perhaps they are somebody trying to help others, in which case maybe there's a page that they can click on, or just a quick ask, hey, are you hoping to help somebody in need that may need your help? Click here, and then you have a page that's specifically talking to them, because I can imagine that, for example, a lot of people want to help others who don't even know they need the help or are refusing it, in which case, you want to speak to those people. That would be your target audience. And it just may be a secondary welcome mat or a homepage just for them that they can click on and get you speaking directly to them and what they can do to help others too. I would imagine that that's going to be pretty common. I can help you or someone you love feel better. Okay, so there is something there versus up here, which is one of the most important. So here you're speaking to the person who has the disorder, and then down here it says you can help somebody else in need. And I would imagine that there would be likely some additional information that a person who's looking to help somebody else may need, and they need to feel a certain comfort. They need to hear from you and understand that you know where they're at as somebody who wants to help a friend but has probably a very emotional and hard time doing that. I would imagine that there could likely be potentially some blog posts that could be here as well that could help you sort of share a little bit more authority. I think one of the big things when it comes to health and medical is, well, how can I trust this person? And do you have a story of your own that you could share that perhaps relates to this as well? And I think pulling your story out for things like this is going to be really important, whether you share it on your About page or you mention it even a little bit here too. I'm not quite sure. So my worry here is, how can Amanda Smith connect to the user quicker here? I love everything I'm seeing here. I think we could take it one step further. And how might you have an experience that you could bring and surface to here on the homepage or perhaps on the about page to have a person go, oh my gosh, like I can completely relate to Amanda. Maybe you've had people in your life that you've had this sort of connection with who you've helped, or maybe you yourself has gone through something and you want to help and support others too. I think those quick stories allow for a person to go, wow, Amanda is my gal. Like I get, she was just like where I was, and I want to get to a place where I could get out of this. So I think that would be really key. And I know that's what you want to do. We're in this together. I'm here to help. So how can a person connect with you more deeply? I think that would be the number one task here, Amanda. Imagine a person's landing on this page. How can they connect with you? I'm also wondering if this image on this hope image is you as well. I think seeing your face, seeing your smile would be really great. This is a great picture, but you're looking off into the distance and your eyes are closed. But I think when you're speaking to the person on the other end, I want to see your face. I want to have you connect to the person who's reading this, especially with how important this is. So that's where I would focus. But this is, again, getting a little bit nitpicky, but I think that would do you and your website a lot of justice for what it is that you have to offer. We're all craving connection to people. And so when you want to help people, you need to show up as a person and a human on the other end. And to do that on a website, people need to see you. They need to feel you. They need to hear your story. And that'll do a lot of good for you, I'm sure. Kevin, I almost spit out my coffee, bro. Bro, Kevin. $50. Thanks, Pat. You're a good man. Feed those kids. I appreciate the look over. I've been working on the back end stuff. Thanks for the pointers I've forgotten about on the public side. Yeah, no worries, Kevin. And again, I don't do this to generate income. If I review your website, please do not feel like you have to pay anything. This is completely free. Your payment for me should be you taking action on this and getting results. That's what I would prefer. The income is just a bonus that I'm going to pass over to somebody who really needs it, who needs to be fed during this time. So Kevin, incredible. Thank you so much for that super chat. You are the man. This is a lot of fun. I'm having a good time today. These are really, really great site reviews. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing. By the way, what are we at now? We need to get to 200. We're at 159. We need 40 more. Fantastic job, yeah. And to continue Amanda's site, are you able to offer one-on-one services via phone or video? This is a question that you definitely want to make sure is answered. So how might a person get easily started working with you? Or what's your number one goal? Is it to get them to apply to have a call with you? Is it to get them to call you? Is it to get them to email you to see how you might be able to serve them? Or is it a consultation, or what have you? Whatever that number one sort of first transactional action is, it needs to be so clear on the website that that's what you want them to do. This is why a lot of like if it's a website to help you build a pool, right? It's always like, hey, give us a call. And the phone number is blasted everywhere because it's just so obvious that that's what you want them to do, because that's when you get on the phone call and you make a sale. For you, it might be something similar, it might be something different. Whatever it is, it needs to be so clear and buttons brightly shining, exposed everywhere. So yeah, Amanda, hopefully that's helpful. All right. Corey in the house. What's up, Corey? Always glad to see you here. Just your artwork. Did you paint that? So good. All right, let's go to one more site review. Kevin, I'm blown away. You are incredible. Let's see. Somebody's asking, theme recommendation. The theme really depends on your style, your vibe, your just sort of content, and this is why I don't like recommending themes, because then everybody's going to have the same theme. I used to have a theme that I promoted and recommended and actually sold, and I just noticed it was everywhere. That was fine. It worked out really great. It was sold through Studio Press. So I like theme banks to check out to see, okay, well, I like that one, I like this one. Because then you can start to imagine, oh, here's where my content might go, how I might be featured, where my pictures might be, all that sort of stuff. So check out Theme Forest or Studio Press. There's a ton of different places. Woo Themes is a great one too. They all essentially are just, like libraries of themes that you can choose from. And I would choose one that fits your style for sure. All right, I'm looking for more websites. www.teamworkexcellence.com. Let's try that. This would be Tim Sweet's website. He said www.teamworkexcellence.com fort. Cool. So hopefully I'm on the right page. Either way, I'm going to review it anyway. So Tim, thank you so much. We're going to do the site review. Here we are. Let me move this down. Okay, Team Excellence. Here we go. Boom. So Tim, my question is, well, who is this for? How can you increase employee trust? So is this likely for managers trying to build their teams? Do your employees trust you? I kind of get that vibe, which is really great. Does employee trust really matter? So these are likely blog posts or things that I can learn. Like, okay, so the first thing you want me to do is look at learn more. So let me go to learn more. Do employees trust you? If not, does it really matter? According to so this is a blog post. Do I see like a little shadow behind the text here? It does hurt my eyes a little bit to see a little bit of shadow underneath. I like the layout of the website. I think this is really great. You're responsible for you. Too many people think it's someone else's job. Take care of them. Get your free coaching guide. I would say a better button here that stands out. I almost didn't know this was clickable because it just blends in. You want your clickable or hyperlinks to be different colors or buttons even. And in this situation, I would definitely have a button that says exactly what you say here. Click to get your free ICS coaching guide. But to go back to what I was saying, the font here hurts my eyes a little bit. If I were to read this, I see a little bit of a shadow behind the text, and that isn't really necessary here. I think you could do yourself some good by not having that. It really does hurt my eyes, and this is a long blog post. It looks like there's a lot of great things here. I would also ask you, okay, a person gets down to the bottom of the page here. What do you want them to do? Let's focus on that. Let's build a call to action area for that. Is it this? Accept our free trial offer here. And again, this doesn't look as beautiful as what a button would look like. Click here to get started, or click here for your free trial versus this link here. And this seems like it would be the thing that you would want people to do first. And it's a perfect time to do that at the end of the blog post here. But again, I want to see these call to actions stand out a little bit more. I do see it's blue, and that's great. But again, this text psi.aspx, et cetera, like let's have this be a button and something that's a little bit more clickable. Okay, why you need to try us. Okay, good. You're selling me on what I'm doing here. This is a big mistake that a lot of us marketers make. We have a call to action we want people to do. It's a landing page, great. And then we just go, click here. We need to sell into it. And I love that you're doing that here. Why you need to try us based on 30 years of corporate experience. So you have some social proof there. PSI breaks new ground in personality and behavioral assessment because it is self-interpretive, high impact, no certification required, great. I would say, number one, you need to remind me here, even though I just came from a page where I know what this is all about, you need to let me know again, what's the benefit for me here? You're telling me a lot of features, but what's the benefit? So that my employees will learn to trust me and we can get better results and I can have better ROI to prove to my boss or a better resume or whatever the thing may be. Free company account. Okay. There's a lot of ask here. I'm wondering if you could perhaps break this up into perhaps just first name, phone number, and email to start, and then maybe a second page to go a little bit deeper into company, and then a little bit more information that you can collect. I would recommend checking out a tool called Write Message to be able to kind of create a sequence like that. I don't know if I'm paying for something right now because I see a promo code, but it's free. So why, if it's free, do I need a promo code? I'm not quite sure. I feel a little bit of friction right here. So likely this is the number one thing that you want to happen. I would see how you might be able to reduce the friction to get into here and create an account, whatever that means. And again, I didn't go deep into it right now. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So you brought me here, but then there's all this stuff above that now kind of confuses me a little bit. Okay. Strategy, the big picture. I think, yeah, this is a very corporate feeling website. And if this is for people who are working at corporations, that's totally fine. 50% probably quit. The boss, not the company. Ooh, I like that. I mean, that's text that really, so this scrolls by really fast. I would say we could benefit from, Team Excellence, the place where your employees can begin to trust you more. And then you can have a lot of this stuff. So I think some messaging that doesn't scroll by so quickly can work. The other thing that I would say is this is very stock imagey. So you have to work even harder on the copy and the customer journey because it does feel very boilerplate using a lot of these stock images. Now I get where you're coming from because it's obviously for corporations and that's who you're targeting, and I get that and I think it's great. However, the messaging is a little bit less powerful having it be stock images. Like, who am I learning from? Is this a company? Is this a corporation? I'm not exactly sure. So I'm a little bit confused on exactly what you want me to do here. I understand what it's for, but okay, how are you going to help me do this? You started to give me a lot of this jargon and a lot of stuff that perhaps is a little confusing. And maybe I'm just not in your target market, so I completely understand that. But we're off to a good start. Info at Team Excellence. Yeah, I would just consider what's the number one biggest pain point that your target audience has. Like, let's just slam it right in their face and go, hey, let's not have your employees quit on you. Or, I even really, the thing that spoke to me most is when you said 50% of employees quit the boss, not the job. Don't be the boss that people quit or something. I don't know. Something that just really goes, wow, I definitely don't want that to happen. Let me dig in and learn the systems. Okay, I probably am not using the right website. Did I get it wrong? Okay, well, we got a free website review from somebody else. So Tim, don't worry. Let's get into yours. I'm dying to. Wrong site. Well, hey, somebody got a free website review. That's okay. If you could give me the actual website, that would be great. I apologize about that, Tim. That's a funny story, though. Teamwork excellence. Still some good feedback. Okay. You tell me, is this the right website? I won't go on until you tell me. Now I'm actually kind of glad because I was struggling a little bit with that one. It definitely felt very stock imagey for sure. So Tim, let me know if this is the right one. You did not blow it. So to answer your question, Xenia and Vlada, what's a pen name? I just want to make sure that this is your website, Tim. If you could tell me one more time just to confirm so we all make sure that we're on the right spot, that would be great. I don't know if when you said yes, sir, that this was the wrong page because the thing is delayed here a little bit. Okay, perfect. We're in the right spot. Thank you, Tim. I apologize for that. I'm just going to make sure moving forward that we all know we're in the right spot the next time because that was kind of embarrassing. Bruh. All right. Already I can tell this website's better than the other website. So just to give you some props really quick, because I have a clear understanding already of what I'm seeing, but let's get into it. So Tim, okay, teamwork excellence, increase your influence, trust and teamwork with high performance leadership skills. Boom, nailed it. I love it. What I'm not so much a fan of is I'm just seeing a bearded mouth here. And I'm a fan of beards now, as you can tell. I'm not clowning what I'm seeing in terms of the beard or the mouth. I'm just saying I'd love to see a little bit more of your eyes. I'd like to see an actual face there, not part of it. I don't know why it's part of it. I'm wondering if I scroll through. Oh, there you are. Okay, so just realize that when I scroll down, then I see your face. But then when I'm opening this back up, maybe you didn't know this, people with higher resolutions aren't seeing your face. This is going to deter me from going further down your site because it's just a weird image right there. What I would recommend is have maybe a smaller resolution image that actually would be seen, or maybe not so much worry about your face there. Maybe your face comes right below, just to ensure that and just to make it easy. One thing I would also make sure that we do is when we have images of faces and text next to it, either look straight at the camera or make sure that your face is facing the text. Because if I scroll back here, as you can see, well, even at the mobile view, I just see an ear now. So this is what your mobile viewers are seeing. So let's make sure to fix that for sure. But as you can see in this view, we are seeing your eyes look this way, off. It actually makes it look like you're looking at the comments here on the chat versus what we want people to look at. If you can have, arrows, meaning your face, your nose, or any sort of directional items in an image point to where you want people to see, then that's the most important thing. Cool. I like the parallaxing effect. That's really good. Okay. The text here could likely be a little bit larger, Tim, because this is a very thin font. I think we could blow it up a couple more fonts. I like the font. I just think it could be blown up. It's very hard to read here. If you own or manage a business that relies on people, you need everyone involved to be as committed as you are. Love it. You're speaking my language, not just me, but the language of the viewer here. I love that. You have your mission, which is great. Time to build unstoppable momentum. I like what I'm seeing here. This is a little, actually, I think I did see the same exact stock image on that other website, by the way. Is that true? Let me just see really quick. I thought I saw it. Maybe not. Okay, anyway. Let's keep going here. I'm going to give you some extra time too because I feel bad about getting it wrong initially. TW is proud to introduce the TW Leadership Passport, 6 destinations to develop extraordinary drive, confidence, and impact. Click for more information. Okay, and again, the text is very small here. So this looks like the first thing that you want people to do here. Free 30-minute consultation. I'm wondering if I can get that up here, like how to hire you, how to get started right away. Suite on leadership, so that's you. So again, I scroll down, your face goes away. I want to see who you are. I would actually replace this image here with an image of you. That's what I would do. So this image I'm seeing right here, since this is sort of a note from you, I would have that image be you, have this image up here go away and be something else. And then this can be centered. Never used a coach, try us out with no risk. Love it. So, and then free 30-minute coaching session, sell it a little bit more. After 30 minutes, you'll learn X, Y, Z. No risk. Click the button below. Would love to chat with you. Right next to your face, right next to this message that you have, which is beautiful. I love the copy here. That could work really well. I click on that. Fantastic. Okay. When I look for graphics like this, I want to make sure that graphics like infographics are very simple. Do they complicate things? Do they serve, or actually do they make things easier to understand, or do they make things more complicated? So try it. No risk 30-minute session to get to know each other. On-demand coaching for focus and clarity. Facilitation support when your team needs management. Premium access. So you asked me to get into this free 30-minute, but then you're telling me about these other things. There's a lot here. I would just focus on, for people who click on the free 30-minute consultation, just all things about that here. Right now, I think I'm seeing all the other things that you have to offer, which is like, oh, this is why you wanted to get me on a call. You want to actually promote into the on-demand and premium access. And I've never met, if we've never met, I work with leaders and team leaders. My focus is on increasing the ability and awareness. I love your signature there. Like, I feel you here, Tim. I feel you. I want you to sort of, to just understand that very rarely do we often see that you can feel the founder here so easily. So I think you're doing a great job there. I would say let's make it so easy to book an appointment and sell that so well, because I know that that's where you do your sales calls. That's where you're going to build a relationship with people. That's where you're going to follow up with the on-demand and the premium access capabilities. But do you see the customer journey here? I clicked free 30-minute coaching session. Everything that is on this landing page should just be about that alone to sell me into getting on a call with you. And I have to now scroll down even to have the ability to get an appointment with you. I would say number 1, just remind me about what this appointment's going to give. Number 2, have you show up here too. And number 3, a very quick and simple way to book a call with you. And that's it. All this other stuff can go away. All right, let's go a little bit further here. I'm not sure what this passport is. The TWE Leadership Passport, 6 destinations to develop orchestra. So 6 destinations. Not exactly sure what that means. Whoa, my eye is just going all over the place here. I have no idea. I don't know where you want me to go. Do you want me to click on these videos? Do you want me to read? There's so, like, my eye is just everywhere right now. I don't know, especially because it's in 3 different columns here, these images. So see some quotes. Are you rising fast enough? Get noticed. You have a choice. I mean, these look beautiful, but I don't know if they're necessarily, like, what is this? Is this an event? Is this, yeah, this, I don't know exactly what this is, but I think we can focus on making this a little bit more clear. And perhaps you can actually reach out to some of your subscribers and ask them, what do you feel when you get on this page? Or is the benefit here something that is very obvious to you? What do you think this is about is actually another great question to ask. It's a very hard thing to do, Tim, but this is something that we could all do more of. You have an offer or you have something going on. Ask your audience, what do you think this is about? And I guarantee you're gonna get very honest feedback. And especially if you have super fans, that's where I would go for super fans or subscribers to help essentially guide you into the next steps. So hopefully that helps, Tim. Cool. Yay, okay, fantastic. Hopefully that helps, but thank you for that. Apologize that I didn't, apologize I reviewed a completely different random website. Hopefully you have it maybe trademarked. All right, the lady says, my teen is getting ready to do both a podcast and release a series of books. That's awesome. Well done. We are trying to decide what to set her up with going forward. Her pen name, pseudonym, or her unique name. So pen names or pseudonyms are pseudonyms are essentially names that just aren't your real name. J.K. Rowling used a name for one of her series before. Galbraith, something, I think. I can't remember what her pen name was, but she created that because she didn't want to be known for the author of this other series. And I've used a pen name before on a website, Pete Chamberlain, because that was a security guard training website and I was doing it as an experiment publicly on smartpassiveincome.com. And I just didn't want my name there too and have people connect that, people who are actually getting served on that page to go, oh, well, this is just a website built to make money, not to actually help, even though it was helpful. I think that if you're an author, you totally have the ability to do that. A lot of artists, a lot of musicians use pen names too. And I think that works really well. I don't think it matters what the name is, as long as you are consistently showing up as such and that it's something that you're comfortable with and it's something that your audience can get to know you from. I think it's today, especially with people being online, people wanting to, number one, protect their identities, but also, I think that that's totally fine. I don't necessarily know what to offer other than just permission to do that. And I think that's okay. So yeah, you just make that name and that becomes essentially a stage name. Tim, hey, thank you so much for the super chat. You've put me off stock photos I've used. I love all the comments. I'm going to film my screen and make the changes and will document the value you've given me. Thanks. Awesome. You're welcome, Tim. Glad that was helpful. I apologize for getting the wrong website at the start. Maybe I did team excellence versus teamwork excellence. Maybe that's what was the problem there. Here, Grandma Goody is not my real name. I have to keep my professional identity separate from my side passion of Grandma Goody. Yep, so there you go. There's a classic example. There's a lot of people. I remember when I first started blogging, there was a guy named Blogging Tyrant, and that was his name. And it's because he just wanted to hide his identity. He was still working 9 to 5, and then eventually when he quit and he made enough money, he came out and his name was Ramsey, and we all got to know Ramsey, but he was still known as the Blog Tyrant. There was a woman named Silicon Valley Girl. She had this sort of identity and even a cartoon character to be her avatar because she was a woman in Silicon Valley sharing a lot of the insides of what was going on in a very male-dominated world, and she wanted to protect her identity there. So SVG, or Silicon Valley Girl, was what everybody knew her as. And I actually don't know if she's still blogging, but that was really fun. Blogging isn't going anywhere. Yes, I agree with that. However, blogging is now something that has to not just compete with other blogs, but it has to compete with other YouTube channels. It has to compete with other podcasts that are out there. These are all platforms to share a message, to share your voice, and they all can achieve the same results. But you also have to know that, well, there's something to be said for multimedia. This is why a blog is often combined with one or more other channels to sort of create a multimedia experience. I do think a blog is important, or at least a website to bring people back to if you have other platforms that you are providing value on. So just a public service announcement. Karma says, my name is not Cashflow. My last name is not Cashflow, but my first name is Karma. Cool. I'm still going to call you Karmic Cash Flow because I like the sound of it. Chris says, is it too late to change your name if you already have followers and content out though? So if you already have followers, I think that you could do a couple things. I think you could just rip the Band-Aid off and do it and just be like, hey, we're doing a brand name change. As long as I think that you're honest with people, then I think people can understand why you're doing it. And I think that you just have to kind of do it and get over it. I think that's fine. However, if you have a following already and you're known for something, then it's going to be obviously a lot more difficult. So yeah, it's definitely more challenging, Chris, if you're doing that a little bit later on. Cool. So we're going to go for about 10 more minutes here. Feel free to ask your questions. I'm going to be here to support you all the way through. Corey says, my sites are extremely simple with not strategically placed template, blog, and YouTube buttons. Would you suggest that I add content on the top of each or main pages that includes those two buttons? If those are, I would say whatever your primary goals are, definitely have it be easy for people to get there. And so if you had a blog and a YouTube channel, I would say that if you include those in the navigation or somewhere up top for people to get access to them, absolutely, because you want people to dive in to get more access to you and what it is that you're doing. So yeah, I would say try it out, see what it looks like, and also just kind of make sure that when you make these changes, this is for everybody, that you track. See how you might be able to make sure that people are actually clicking on that and going to where you want them to go. If you have a lot of these different things on your website that people aren't using, then why do you have them there in the first place? So make sure that you can see if you can understand the flow that people go through on your website. Using Google Analytics can help you. Using things like pre-links can help you too. If you have a WordPress website, you can track to see which links people are clicking on. Another way that you might be able to use that sort of same idea is if you have a resource page and you have a bunch of different resources that you found and you've become sort of an expert curator for people, just have each of those links be pretty links, which are shortened links that can then forward through an affiliate link. And then you can actually see which ones are being clicked on. And if somebody is not clicking on, if you see that after a few weeks, people aren't clicking on something that you're mentioning on that page, well, remove it and then replace it with something else or move things up and show the things that are being clicked on there instead. Question, what do you think about using something like Mighty Networks instead of a Facebook group? I think that that's the future. Absolutely, groups and private sort of communities are definitely the future. This is why Facebook groups are so popular, and you're starting to see these other companies like Mighty Networks come out. I interviewed the founder, Gina, from Mighty Networks. She was amazing, and I love what she's doing there. She was ahead of her time back when Ning, do y'all remember Ning? N-I-N-G. This was a community-based platform that worked really well. By the way, we are very short of our 200 likes goal. So if you could smash that like button so we can get to 200 before we close up in 7 minutes, that would be great. I'm going to keep that up here just as a reminder for y'all. But Facebook groups are great, and it's the future. We know this also because Facebook's devoting a lot of time into it, because I think they're starting to see a lot of other companies come out like Mighty Networks. There are a lot of new companies coming out that I would recommend checking out too. I'm actually getting very excited about a new one that is coming out from the founders, or not founders, but from employees over at Teachable, which is an online course company that I advise and that I absolutely love. They also got acquired very recently, which is really cool. But some former employees started a company called Circle.so. So check that out. They're very, very much in the early stages right now, but I'm actually have recently just come on as an advisor to that company too, because I think it provides the sort of best of all the different communities all in one spot. So definitely check that out. Let them know I sent you. Circle.so. It is something that we at Team SPI are looking into as well to create some sort of membership-based / off Facebook community platform. And yeah, I think it's the future, because then you can have more control over the communication within your community versus Facebook, where there's often a lot of other noise too. And if you can develop some amazing fans there, I mean, you've got your own Facebook essentially for your own people, and it can be really, really valuable to have such a thing. And I think definitely that's the future of marketing and business, are these tight groups of communities, much like how forums were back in the day, or e-bulletins, like bringing that back, but in a more modern way, I think is sort of what's happening here, which is really cool. Scrap Happy, Can you talk about building your business on a platform that you don't own? I look at money networks, but decided to do some in-house solutions instead. Circle.so, Xenia. Circle.so. So, okay, let's go back to this question one more time. Can you talk about building your business on a platform that you don't own? I looked at Mighty Networks, but decided to do some in-house solutions instead. So the benefit of building your community on a platform outside of your own website, because the website is ultimately the only thing you can control, plus your email list, right? The benefit of going into these other platforms is that they're built specifically to continually improve the experience that your community members and yourself as the content and community host will have. This is why Teachable was so powerful versus a lot of sort of WordPress plugins that you could use instead to create online courses, because Teachable has this entire team specifically built to help your students succeed and to make things easier for you to create your online courses. And very similar to these communities, which can continually improve over time. And I think as long as you also have your email list at hand from people who are a part of this community, well, that's where I think you actually have more control than definitely a place like Facebook, where you don't have access to this community unless Facebook lets you, right? But if you have your own sort of Mighty Networks or Circle.so community, you do have that email list, you do have that contact, and you actually own a little bit more control, even though it's on another third-party platform, knowing that that third-party platform, like, they have to continually improve and get better or else they won't exist anymore. They are incentivized to make that experience great for you. And then a lot of the work is off your hands. A lot of the support for the technology is off your hands. You have to continually improve on your end, if it's all in-house, to continually get people to come, and especially if you're having them continually pay, for example, for premium access, well, they have to be reminded about why they need to continue to pay. And I think that's really important. And so software a lot of times does that by adding new features, adding more excitement, adding another sort of pattern interrupt for people who are often questioning every single month why they're getting billed. So that's why I love these outside platforms, and Circle.so so far is the best one that I've seen, which is why I'm devoting a lot more time and my own personal energy into helping improve the product. Is Circle like Patreon? No, Circle is like your own Facebook group, but it's almost like Slack combined. So all the best parts of Slack in terms of communication and how channels are done, and how it's just easy to sort of create little different segments within those channel spaces, versus and plus the best parts of Facebook groups, easy access, easy communication, easy sort of archiving, that kind of thing. So I think that Circle.so would be great. Patreon is more of a donation platform, but modern in a sense where people can get access to things, all kinds of things, not just like a community. I can see the comparison for sure, but it's definitely not like it. Nick says, love the show, man. Keep it up. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you. Yes, Circle.so. Tell him I sent you. Corey says, Pat, thanks. You just gave me an idea that will be done tonight while keeping my site simple and nice. Your site reviews inspired the question. Thanks again. Also adding 2 blog posts right off the bat. Awesome. Well done. By the way, we have 2 more minutes to get 12 more likes. We're almost there. I think we're going to hit it today. Eric says, Pat, thank you for the value provided today. So much great information. Looking forward to joining you each morning. Lots of great actionable advice. Thank you so much. Yes, we are doing this every single morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, same time tomorrow. You'll see the page pop up. And if you don't know where the page is, you can check it out here, patflynn.com/theincomestream. And that's where you will see the ability to go into the waiting room early on. You'll also see just the next live stream position there. So patflynn.com/theincomestream. Adil says, have also witnessed a lot of A-list celebs getting on the text me train. Yes, Gary Vee does this. Bobby Hundreds from The Hundreds, which is a clothing company. They wrote a really cool book called This Is Not a T-Shirt. This is using a tool called community.com. So essentially you could text a person, and this is why you see Gary Vee with his text message sort of across his chest, his phone number often, even on the bios of Twitter and Instagram. So this is sort of a combination of bots plus personal messaging. I do know that you can get personal messages from Gary and Bobby and a number of other people. So, but you can also automate those messages too. I'm thinking about trying that out here just to kind of see what that's like, but we'll see what happens. Wow, a lot of text coming in. We're almost there. 4 p.m. UK, and who logs on and thumbs down? Hey, if you're having a bad day and you're thumbs downing this, well, I completely get it. Maybe I'm not your cup of tea, and that's totally okay. But I would just say, likely a lot of times this happens because you're having a bad day too. And I completely get it. We're living in an environment where all bad things are happening right now, it seems. And I hope that, offering a thumbs down here just shows you that, hey, not all things are bad, and there's some good stuff in this world. And even though you're frustrated and upset, that's okay. I'm glad you're taking it out on me versus other people who might be around you. So I would just say, if you want to take it out on me, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you hug a loved one around you. You call somebody you haven't called in a while. There's a lot of great people who deserve the good sides of you. And I know we don't necessarily know each other, and that's totally fine. So feel free to keep coming in every day. It still provides some value. It's still called engagement. It still shows up as a view, and that helps me too, whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So thank you for helping out either way. Hey, we hit 200. We hit 200. So well done, everybody. So what we're gonna do now to close off, because we literally just hit it just in time. So thank you again for being here. 200 likes, definitely more than yesterday. I'm gonna pull 3 things off of this shelf here, and I'm gonna tell some quick stories about them because everything here on the shelf matters to me. And we're just gonna do a little story time, right? So hold on a sec. If you wanna leave because we're not answering any more questions, that's totally fine. But hey, it's story time with Pat Flynn. Okay. We got 3 things to talk about here. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this. I was really worried we weren't going to get it because we're going to change up the goal tomorrow. So we did it. Okay, so let's start with this one in the middle here. In 2015, I got invited to speak and do the keynote at Podcast Movement. And Podcast Movement is a podcasting event that happens. And I did the keynote, and it was really great. I don't know if any of you were there or saw the presentation. But in my presentations, I love to go a little bit further than most people would. So I actually created an entire presentation about dealing with the voice in your head, because podcasters can grow, but a lot of times we don't, because we have these things in our mind that just tell us no, or you can't do this, or any of this sort of stuff. So this presentation, I actually had a voiceover guy who had a British accent record a conversation with me, and I chopped up the conversation, and I had like every sentence in a new keynote slide, so that it was just, I click the button and then it says the next sentence. So I choreographed this talk that allowed me to have a conversation with the voice in my head, which, yes, had a British accent, and it was really funny, but it was also this British accent that was making fun of me the entire time, having me be like almost embarrass myself on stage, like, hey Pat, what are you doing up on that stage? You don't even deserve to be there right now. Those kinds of things. And I would just like kind of fight back with it. And a lot of people remember that presentation. It was a lot of fun. And it was definitely out of the box and definitely outside my comfort zone, but people still talk about it today, which is really cool. This was an award because they do the podcast awards. And so the Academy of Podcasters awarded me with the best business podcast in 2015. And I was very thankful to have that. It was actually voted by many of you back then. There was a more public sort of voting for best podcast. And I actually outperformed Tim Ferriss and Gary Vaynerchuk and a few other podcasts during that time. So this is the award for Best Business Podcast 2015. Nice shiny microphone. I'm wondering if it actually works though. It does have an on and off switch, and it's one of these old school microphones, but really excited. And I actually haven't looked at this in a while. It just kind of reminds me of how much podcasting has grown, because since then there's been some amazing podcasts from people who weren't even podcasting back at this time, who are just crushing it right now. So there's still time to start great podcasts. There's still less than 1 million podcasts out there. So you have a lot of time to still build one and stand out. So this was really cool, and I really love having this on my shelf. You might be able to find that presentation somewhere. It is in the bonus section of my courses, but it could be online if you look up Pat Flynn, Podcast Movement, maybe Voice in Head, or Podcast Movement Keynote, Pat Flynn. It may be there. I've done a few keynotes at Podcast Movement. So, okay, number 2, to tell you the quick story here, I played a lot of baseball growing up. Really sad that sports aren't a thing right now, but I played a lot of baseball, and actually I loved to pitch. So I was a pitcher on my little league team. I was like the only kid who could get over the plate. And then, for whatever reason, all the other kids kept growing and I stopped growing. So I was the tallest kid in the class in first grade. And then for whatever reason, I just stopped growing. And literally, I was the shortest kid in high school, under 5 feet tall my senior year of high school. That's when I broke 5 feet tall, senior year of high school. Anyway, I stopped playing ball because I just didn't have power anymore. So I started playing soccer more because I was more of a speed demon. Anyway, I loved pitching. I still love pitchers. And my all-time favorite pitcher was Nolan Ryan. I collected his cards. I collected everything. I even sent a letter to the Texas Rangers. And then months later, got a signed photo back from Nolan Ryan, which was like my prized possession. I actually still have it somewhere in the house here. And it's awesome. It was a picture of him, throwing a pitch, and he was just my all-time favorite, Nolan Ryan. Years go by, and it was just one random fact that I shared at the beginning of my podcast episode that I liked Nolan Ryan as a podcaster. Well, years go by. One of my students, Azul Torones, who is now known as one of the co-hosts of Authors Who Lead, he helps people write books and become better leaders. He was actually my book coach for Will It Fly. And after Will It Fly came out, and after it became a Wall Street Journal bestseller, again, as a self-published book, Azul found that he had an opportunity to go meet Nolan Ryan, and he took that opportunity because he lives in Texas too, and he got a signed ball from Nolan Ryan. And this is a really cool prized possession of mine too. So a signed baseball from Nolan Ryan, which I can't believe I have. And that's thanks to one of my students, because and I teach this all the time. When you serve others, they're going to find ways to pay you back. I was able to help Azul start his career and start his book writing career. And with the success that he's offered to me with Will It Fly, he wanted to give back. And so Nolan Ryan, signed baseball. Love it. The funny thing was, I went to baseball camp one time when I was a kid, and the coaches went around and they asked us all who our favorite player was, and everybody mentioned batters and fielders at the time, and I mentioned Nolan Ryan. They were like, "What are you doing here? This is a batting. This camp is for batting. Why is your favorite player Nolan Ryan? Why are you here?" And I thought that was just really funny. I was not a good batter. I was more of a pitcher. Okay, finally, here is a really scary item. I don't know if you can see that. Hey everybody, I'm a bobblehead of Pat Flynn. I even have Pat's famous backpack. Mwah, mwah. Okay, yeah, this is really scary. Anyway, it even says down below, just let go here. I don't know if you can see that. It says just let go. And it has my signature sort of getup when I speak on stage. I have worn this exact outfit before. I don't think this looks like me, but somebody who was a fan made this for me and sent it and gave it to me in person. I think it was at one of the podcast events, and I was very thankful for it. Although also it's just very scary. My wife, whenever she comes in the office, she tells me to turn it around. And I understand why, but just very thankful for the fans out there who have gone out of their way to create things, and it just blows my mind sometimes that I can have an impact like this. It's still, I have to pinch myself every day to see. I mean, we are 150 people in this live stream right now. We've been going for an hour and a half, y'all, and you guys are having conversations, and you guys are here to support me. There's super chats. I mean, freaking $50 super chat. I mean, I think we've made over $100 today in super chat. I mean, that's going to feed hundreds of people here in San Diego. And I was just a regular person who had a job at an architecture firm who got laid off in 2008. And I think that just shows that anybody who steps up and tries to help people, I mean, you if you truly care about serving people, you're going to get fans. You're going to have people want to repay you for helping them. And I think it really just comes down to, well, what can you do to help people? Especially during this time, I think there's a lot of people who need help. I'm so glad and so excited to see a lot more recognition for people who are in the medical field right now. I think they deserve it. I mean, 7 p.m. every night, we're clapping, even though we're not in New York and we can't hear other people clapping. I mean, we celebrate them. And I think that it just shows that, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for people to get that recognition. But when time comes and you're needed, you will be recognized for the hard work that you do. So big thank you to all the fans out there. You don't have to super chat. You don't have to send me things, but I do appreciate it. And it's so much welcome because it just fires me up to keep going. And this is what gives me the energy every day, the energy to go an hour and a half strong, the energy to do these website reviews for you. And it all comes from you. So Team Flynn, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed those stories today. And yeah, the bobblehead is very scary. So make sure to check out the live stream again tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. You're incredible. I'm so excited to chat with you again tomorrow. We'll do a couple more website reviews. It's Monday, so we'll just do probably 2 or 3 and do a lot more Q&A. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. E, big thanks to your mom being a resident nurse. And yeah, we'll keep going here. Remember, patflynn.com/the income stream. Right when I hit close on this, I'm going to set up the waiting list. Not the waiting list, but the waiting room for the next one. So again, this is where you can go to get access to it every single morning. We reached our goal. Thank you. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. Peace.